on a number line. You are going to be doing this in your journal with me. So you should have your journal open to the next blank page, and you definitely want to have fractions and number line as your title to your journal. You can press pause now and do that, and press play when you're ready to get started. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start with a basic number line where fractions would be. Now we know fractions are a part of a whole. So if our number line starts here, and here, and let's say our number line starts here at 0, right? And then it goes all the way to 1. Our fractions are going to be in between 0 and 1. We could also extend this line and go to 2, and we can have another set of fractions here that would be more than 1 but less than 2. But we're going to focus on this part of the number line today. How would you break up between whole numbers? So the very first thing you're going to want to do is find your midway point. This would be considered a benchmark number of half. So this would be none. This would be all, the whole thing. And this would be half. So if we were to place numbers on this chart and we want to do fractions, we're going to basically compare our fractions to, do we have nothing? Do we have a whole thing? Or do we have half of something? Let me use 6 as an example. Okay, so if we have a pizza, right, and that pizza is going to have 6 slices to it, we want to know where all 6 slices would fit on a number line. Okay, so basically we're going to pretend like this number line is our pizza, and we're going to, so we have a big, straight, long line pizza, which is not normal, but that's what we're going to call it. And then we are going to show how to break up that number line into equal pieces. So let's do it. The first thing I'm going to say is if I have none of the pizza, I have 0 out of 6. Right? 6 total slices, I have 0. The next thing I'm going to do is, if I have the whole pizza, if I eat the whole thing, I would have 6 out of 6 slices. Now, what's half of the pizza? If I ate half of the pizza, how many slices would I have eaten? Hopefully you've already recognized that 3 is half of 6. So my halfway mark would be 3 slices. Now, what am I missing? Now, I'm missing some numbers because I have to have on a number line 0 all the way to 6, and I'm missing some definite numbers, right? I'm missing 1 and 2, and I'm missing 4 and 5. Now, 1 and 2 is going to go before 3, and 4 and 5 is going to go after 3. I have this big part of my line left, so I need to make sure that I put 1 and 2 equal distance apart and 4 and 5 equal distance apart. So when I have all my lines set up, each set has an equal distance in between. Now, for this one, there's no really halfway mark, but I'm just going to kind of mark it right here. So if I were to go halfway through, which is not going to help me with this, but I know that halfway between here and here is going to have to be my parts, right? So if I know I have to do this, I'm going to have to do probably 1 would go about here maybe, and 2 would go about here. That's about right. It's not perfect, but that's about right. So this would be 1/6. This would be 2/6. And let's look at the other side. I have 4 and 5 over here. So if I want to do 4 and 5, I'm going to kind of look here, and I'm going to do about 4 and 5. So this would be 4/6, and this would be 5/6. Now I've added all 6 slices to my number line. So I have placed these fractions on a number line. Now let's make some judgments about that. Let's say if I wanted to tell if 2/6 was more than half or less than a half. Where would I say 2/6 is? 2/6 lands between 0 and 1/2. It's less than 1/2. We can say the same thing for 1/6. 1/6 is also less than a half. Now, if I want to look at the other side of my number line, let's say I want to look at 5, 6. Where does 5, 6 lie? 5, 6 lies between a half and 1 whole. And we can say it's more than a half. So now we've gotten 6 on our number line, and we've compared it to the benchmark number of 1/2. We're now going to do another one. So I'm going to erase my board, and you're going to go to the next section in your journal. We are now going to make a number line, and we are going to put 8s on our number line. So our denominators are going to be 8s. So what are we going to do first? We're going to start our number line. So let's draw a line. Draw it with me. I want you to put 0 here, because this is our none, and I want you to write none above 0. I want you to write 1 here. This is our all, our 1 whole, and write all here. And I want you to give us our halfway benchmark. Write half here, and go ahead and write that fraction for half. Now, let's put 8s on our number line. We always start with none first, and then we go to all. So none is 0 out of 8. What's all? All is 8 out of 8. Very good. Now, what is half of 8? Now, let's look and see how to determine if a number is half. If you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all these numbers have to go on the number line, let's find the halfway mark. To do that, you can cross out your first and your last numbers. First and last, first and last, first and last, and that's going to give you your middle number, 4. Many of you already knew 4 was half of 8, but if you're having a hard time finding the midpoint, this is the strategy you use. You write all your numbers down, including 0, and you mark out the first and the last until you get to the middle. So, we know half. Now, let's look and see what we have left. What numbers are going to go on this side? We have 0 here and we have 4 here, so what numbers are left? We have 1, 2, and 3. Is there a halfway number between 1, 2, and 3? Yeah, because if we cross this out and this out, 2 is our half. So, that means if we find half of our number line, 2 is going to go here. 2 what? 2 8s. And then half of that would be 1 8, and then half of that would be 3 8s. Now, we're going to use the same idea on this side with the numbers that are left. So we have 4 here and we have 8 here. What numbers are missing? We're missing 5, 6, and 7. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, we have to place these on our number line. Hopefully you're thinking right now, okay, what is my first step? My first step is to find my midpoint. All right, so is there a middle number here? Yes, it's 6. 6 is in the middle. So find your midpoint, find the halfway mark between the half and all, and mark it. We know that what number is going to go there. Write that number now. Hopefully you wrote 6. And this is 6 8s. Now, we've gotten taken care of 6. So 5 is going to become between 4 and 6. And 7 is going to become between 6 and 8. So halfway between 4 and 6 should be 5. That's 5 8s. And halfway between 6 and 8 should be 7. And that's 7 8s. You now have a number line for 8s. We're going to do one more number line together. This number line is when you have odd numbers, because odd numbers does not have a clear halfway mark, and we're going to have to show for that. So draw your number line. Let's start with none and all, and half. All number lines need to start here. None, half, and all. And this time, let's put our pizza into thirds. Let's put it into thirds. Now, 3 equal pieces. I need to find the halfway number for 3, right? So if I have 0, 1, 2, 3, what is half of 3? First and last, okay? There's no number here, but it tells me halfway for 3 is going to be between the 1 and the 2, which means the 1 is going to have to come on this side and the 2 is going to have to come on this side, and they have to be equal distance. 3 is a little tricky, all right? You want to avoid the half of the half. That's not 3 right there. That's too far because it's going to make a little bitty line here, and if I do half of this here, watch this. Watch what's going to happen. You're going to have a little line here and a little line here, and then there's a big giant line here. Those are clearly not equal pieces. So we want to avoid getting the half of the half when you have odd numbers. So let me erase that so I can make it clear for you. That's what you want to avoid. So what we want to do is we want to go through, and we know that if we do half of the half, it's going to be not equal. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go a little bit farther over. I'm going to put 1/3 here. So that looks about equal right there. And then right on this side of the half, I'm going to put 2/3 here. Does that look like it's about equal? I can maybe move this over just a little bit. That looks much better. So this would be 1/3. This would be 2/3 right here. Don't forget we have to have our 0/3 and our 3/3. Do we look like we have 3 equal pieces? Here's 1 piece, 2 pieces, and 3 pieces. Is that about equal? It's close. All right, so now you know how to put numbers on the number line. Let's go ahead and compare. Where would 1/3 be? Would 1/3 be less than half or more than half? Where would 1/3 be? Hopefully you said less than half. Yes, 1/3 is less than half. Very good. At this time, you are now ready to go do some practice. Have fun.